the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
Thank you very much. And let us meet our panel. She is the vice chair, oh, that hurts, of South Carolina's Republican Party, Cyndi Mosteller. Cyndi, you're a chair. Thank you very much. He's a talented actor, musician, and the documentary filmmaker behind The Last Party and The Last Party 2000, Donovan Leitch. Donovan. Hey, Bill. How are you, buddy?
All right.
Good to see you. You got this. He is a fine actor, comedian, soda salesman, one of the very funny stars of the new movie Double Take, Orlando Jones.
Good to see you.
How you doing? See you. And one of our finest comedy imports, his newest star turn is in Shadow of the Vampire and the upcoming films The Cat's Meow and All the Queen's Men, Mr. Eddie Izzard. Eddie, how are you? Eddie, you're so dressed down tonight. No.
Yeah, well, I realized I didn't have to clap for anyone.
Yeah.
I come on last, you don't have to clap for anyone. So
I thought you might put on a little makeup for me. Okay. You don't want to be glam?
No, I didn't want to.
I am feeling slighted myself.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the third millennium, so I can wear it if I want to and not wear it if I don't, and that's my right.
I say the same thing. Okay.
But every time I do wear it, you make a crack at it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I'm disappointed. Anyway, yesterday the press made a big thing about the fact that Bill Clinton and George W. Bush have the exact same approval rating, 65%, which just shows how dumb the press is. Because, you know, it's only like 1 trillion times harder to have that approval rating after you've been in office 8 years. Sure, Bush is great. He hasn't done anything yet, and we expect that pattern to continue. No, I kid. Let's give him a chance. But what bugged me is Bush got a 71% approval rating on ethics and integrity, and I've been saying...
Why did that bug you?
Because the Bush family gets a free pass on integrity just because they look like they have integrity. And I'm not saying they're evil people, they're not, but they have no more integrity than any other politician who's bought and paid for and says anything to win. They have no more integrity.
Wait a minute. George
and that's
Bush,
what bothers me.
when Bill Clinton came in office, he said the era of big government is over. When Bill Clinton leaves office, the era of big lies are over. And George Bush...
No.
George Bush...
That's my point. Is that Bush is just as big a liar as Bill Clinton?
Scandal-free 6 years of the governorship of the state of Texas, Bill.
In Texas, though.
Oh, wow.
What do you mean? What about Bill Clinton in Arkansas?
His scandal...
This is a man who went to his daughter's PTA meeting to make out with women in the back of a car.
Is that wrong?
But that's got nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That just seems like good taste.
You know what? Character really does have a lot to do with politics.
But that's morals. Isn't that morals? And that's not ethics. That's not integrity. That's morals. And morals shouldn't be judged by the government.
Politicians have neither.
No.
The problem is that your team doesn't understand the difference between an important lie and an unimportant lie. A lie that affects us and a lie that affects no one. That's what you don't get.
Yes, it's grading the lies. It's like in murder. Murder 1, murder 2, murder 3, and you should have lie 1, lie 2, and lie 16.
You're right.
No, because
Yes.
the Linda Chavez story, what she did yesterday, was very honorable, and it shows that we do have a standard that we're willing to hold ourselves to, that no man or woman is above the law. Linda Chavez did a good thing for the wrong reason in taking that woman into her home, but she violated
Bush lied when he said, I didn't push her out. Of course he pushed her out.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
Do you know
he
that?
has integrity, and that's what we're talking about here.
Do you know that? I don't know that. I think she read that she's based on the standards of law that she needed to withdraw. And I
shouldn't we be asking ourselves if he has any intelligence?
I mean, the whole thing about Linda Chavez with the Zoe Baird situation before, where it kind of seems sort of hypocritical to me that, you know, she's sort of criticizes this woman, and then she gets pegged.
I think it was not totally consistent, but the Zoe Baird was slightly different.
I defended Linda Chavez last night, and I attacked the liberals for attacking her, even though I thought it was a little self-serving to bring out all those people. Looked like they emptied the kitchen at Sizzler. But I'll give credit where credit is due, but I won't say that George Bush and his family have more integrity than any other politician. They don't.
Well, who's asking you to say that? All we're saying is he's got tenfold the integrity of Bill Clinton.
Well, he doesn't.
That's what he doesn't. That's the point. It's the moral thing. His morals might be judged, but then he's just got a different moral standard to maybe everyone else. But it's not his ethics on that. It's the morals. He was pushed into a corner and say, "Did you have sex with this woman?" And that's when you get into the integrity. But if you say that, "Have you ever lied?" The point is, every politician has lied.
Bill Clinton lied about an unimportant thing in an important place. Your guys, Bush and his father, lied about lots of important things, like Clarence Thomas, like taxes, things that are like global warming, things that really affect us, they lie about. Hello, guys.
I'm with you.
This is your chance here to get in on this.
I think that I was down in Texas for the Gary Graham execution, and for George Bush to say that 140 people he completely unequivocally believed got a fair trial, which is absolutely not true. So for talking about integrity and morals and stuff like that, these are people's lives. And
you don't know that.
I spoke to the head of the ACLU.
If there's any evidence that a man, there's a questionability about a man's guilt going to the death chamber, certainly any red-blooded, decent American would want to stand up for the right to protect an innocent life, whether they're facing electrocution
but half those public defenders are asleep in court, you know.
Yeah, but we're all off the subject again. How we got into this discussion? Well, that's right, all right. It happens occasionally. I'm with you. I'm sorry.
You know, we're both from South Carolina. We've got a thing going on.
This is very true, but we still have to. I mean, we keep talking
you're
about.
from South Carolina,
I am.
And you're from South Carolina.
Don't you like him?
Exactly.
Right.
You know, exactly, because I'm the blast
I'm sure you two guys met at Bob Jones University.
We're not from South Carolina. But we keep discussing integrity, and the fact that you actually can sit there and say with a serious face that you think Bush has more integrity or 10 times more integrity than Bill Clinton is where you lose me.
Listen, I think Joe Lieberman has 10 times more integrity than Bill Clinton. It doesn't take much to have 10 times more integrity than Bill Clinton.
No, the point is, how can you make that statement? I mean, if you're going to tell me that Bush has never lied, we know he's lied. I mean, if you're going to tell me that you...
Well, I've lied.
Well,
I mean,
there you go.
all
So
lied.
everyone has lied for a living. So what is the basis by which you... What is the basis by which you make your argument?
It's what you lie about in politics. It's a dirty business. And they're liars. The Bushes are liars just like every other politician. And they do whatever they can to win, whatever they have to, whatever they have to say.
Because they should have conceded that election if there was any real integrity.
Oh,
I mean, he endorsed it and went, you know what? This is a mess.
I have to concede to the sponsors. We'll be right back. Okay. I don't know if you're aware, but tonight MTV started their 18 hours of no programming at all. They just ran out of ideas. No, I'm kidding. They wanted to make a point about hate crime, so they have a black screen with just a scroll of victims of hate crimes that goes over and over again, 18 hours. I've said many times I don't think there should be such a thing as hate crime. I know that gets the liberals upset, but you know what? A crime is a crime.
A crime is a crime.
Right. That's exactly right.
You think so?
I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, it's a hate crime is a thought crime. I
mean, I'm not sure I care why you hit me with the bat. I mean, you know, it's not really important to me why you did it. What I care about is that my brains is on the pavement.
Yeah.
I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
But if there's some guidance in how sentences should be meted out for what level of crime, I mean, if someone is stealing for money, then they probably haven't got a lot of money. You know, you could probably say that. Very few rich guys go out and hit people over. But if you're doing it just for hate, because you hate someone, their color, you hate them because of their sexuality, then maybe there should be guidelines on that, you know, just to, because there's going to be judges who get in there and say, well, you attacked, like in the South, you know, people...
But doesn't that presume, I mean, being a Southerner, Doesn't that presume that the judicial system is somehow not that way now? They give out different sentences based on color and sex and race right now.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
My point being that, so if it's legislated, it's all of a sudden going to be different. You know, they're going to go, oh my God, now that we've got it written in the books, let's really get it right. I don't. But
no, but they have to, because it's in the legislation. Then they are guided by the rules, and they're saying, well, you've got to treat this differently. The guy who hit someone over the head for $10, okay, that's in one area, and you give out 6 months or whatever it is a year, and someone who
but unimportant, aren't you on some level legislating morality? Aren't you on some level saying, I know what's going on in that guy's head. I know why he did it now. I understand his guilty mind.
Well, you would prove that in the court process, surely.
Yes, but not as important as outcome.
The question is, can we really prove anything in the court process? I mean, hasn't the court process taught us one thing, and that is that we don't really know what's going on? I hit you, and it's...
Well, do you really need to know? What you need to know is the outcome. The crime should be assessed based on what it's done to the victim, not so much the intent of the person.
And the court process, I think, proves more than anything that the truth is not really what matters. It's who has the better lawyer.
The important thing is that...
And who can fool a jury just the way... campaign ads fooled the electorate into thinking George Bush has integrity. But it's true. But it's true. I mean, money to buy people who know how to convince those people can do anything.
What about Al Gore's commercial linking George Bush to the James Byrd murder?
I didn't vote for Al Gore. So you know what? You're not going to get me on that one. All I said was...
Did you vote for Al Gore? I'd really like to...
All I said was Bush has no more integrity than the other bastards. Okay? So stop shoving this out down our throats like the Bush family is the royal family and they're untouchable. They're not. They're the same. They're just as bad. That's all I was saying.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's good that that MTV, this network, is devoting 18 hours to whether it's crime or hate crime or whatever. The fact that they're doing a blackout and all these kids that would normally be watching Eminem and Britney Spears are going, gee, I wonder why all these names are scrolling there, and then they start thinking about it, and they maybe go to the school the next day and start talking about it.
I bet you they turned the channel to VH1. And then, you know...
I mean, God forbid.
Until the Eminem "We Hate All Fags" video comes back on.
In which case,
the end of the hate crime legislation.
Well, the point is, does anyone have information here, which I doubt we can instantly bring up, that says whether there's a discrepancy between victims of hate crimes and the punishments meted out and victims of burglaries and whatever, or, you know, just muggings and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, in some states where they have some states have hate crime laws like that. Lots of states do.
I think 33 states have hate crimes legislation.
But the ones that don't, I mean, if you could say, and you could prove right here that, okay, this guy, he got hit over the head and it wasn't bad, and he was robbed for whatever money, and this guy was...
robbed for his orientation.
Yeah, his orientation, and the crime, and the punishments were different. I mean, I just don't know what the figures are.
But it's not going to deter anybody. You think a hate crime is going to be stopped because a guy goes, oh, man, you know what? We shouldn't really string this guy up because they're going to get us on the hate
thing. They're going to hate thing, and then that's 10 more years that I can't really deal with that.
Right, because, you know, I'm the kind of guy who thinks that way. Being a neo-Nazi to begin with, I'm going to calculate that in.
Well, and the other scary thing about it to me is that ultimately you're asking 12 presumably sane people to put themselves in the mind of a person who's committed a hate crime and trying to understand why he did it in order to give that person a sentence, which doesn't seem possible.
It's almost giving the guy too much credit, the hater.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
who cares what's in his head? Just get rid of his head.
Send him to jail.
Yeah, get rid of the head.
Okay. I don't need the fact that he did it is enough for me.
I could actually take your points on this, you know, but my thing is, how would you stop hatred?
You can't. What do you mean, how would you stop hatred? We're people. We're humans. We will never stop.
I'd be out of entertainment.
Slightly less. Like in Europe, being a European, we used to murder each other every day. It was our thing.
Us too.
We had, from Alexander the Great...
Europe has way more hate than we do.
Well, exactly, but we don't actually murder each other with tanks so much anymore. And so somehow our hate has gone down a tad.
Because tanks are expensive.
What? No, it isn't. We love getting into tanks. I mean, Alexander the Great up to World War II, 2,500 years of murder. And we're brilliant at it, and we've given it up now.
Also, Britain, the police don't have guns.
Tell that to the people in Kosovo. You know.
I know, well, that was
there was quite a hate crime. There was a state-sponsored hate crime that went on.
Well, I know, but that was the last bits of the jigsaw trying to put Europe together. Now Serbia sort of clicked in, as you'll probably know.
Oh, good. Well, now that we got that all done.
Actually, I think, though, people getting more in touch with God actually.
Oh,
I do.
do we have to bring him into this all the time?
Just go ahead and give it to me.
Run the
God.
Yes, I do.
We've got
I think
more in touch with God.
getting more in touch with God results in a greater love for their fellow human being. I do think that, Bill Maher.
All right, I got to get in touch with a commercial. We'll be right back. Okay, Cyndi, you were mentioning God, and I wonder if you heard about this court case that's been going on in Indiana. This woman was answering and I guess exiting phone calls at her business with the phrase, "Have a blessed day," which I've heard a lot of people say, and I usually hang up. And they fired her, and she's suing because they said that's religion and it can't take place on company time.
Well, first of all, it's not necessarily religious. She says has a blessed day. I mean, who knows what she's talking about when she says that? I mean, I don't. Second of all,
Come on. God,
no, I'm serious. I don't know this woman. I mean, I'm just taking off what you're saying. I have no idea.
I think it is. As a non-religious person, I don't find that a big problem in my ear. Someone said that, I just think they mean, you know, have a good one.
If a Jewish person said to me, shalom,
yeah,
I'd
take it in good
a very
faith.
nice one.
Well, first of all, shalom is like saying mahalo for a Hawaiian person. It's not a religious meaning at all.
But if it were
Shalom just means
alaikum.
goodbye, hello, or peace. Have a blessed
That's a
day
religious
means
kind of
something very
concept.
different. That has, we all know, you can say what you want, but we all know she means Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
Okay, fine. But here's the thing, Bill. Here's the thing. If she, let's say she does mean that, fine. We've confirmed that she does. What are the two people? I don't understand what the boss and what the girl, I don't understand what the problem is.
Because she's saying it as a business person on a phone at the business company to other people.
So
and
if those are the problems in your business, I mean, that's not a problem. So what? Who's listening to her anyway? She says, have a blessed clue.
But no, I think the big thing is it's from a computer sales job. Is she shifting computers? I think that's the big have a blessed day. Another sale down.
I think she should be able, in her freedom, to talk to coworkers like that in off hours. But I do think, even though I applaud her Christianity, I think she's probably a delightful person. I'd love to work with her. I do. I think she's probably a wonderful person.
But she's suing the company. Like, is that something to sue?
Wait a minute. They gave her a letter of reprimand. And I think that company probably regrets that now. I understand they're going to settle it. That's my impression of it. But I do think an employer has the right to set parameters of how their employee communicates to the clients, because that employee represents...
You can make employees say things like, welcome to Blockbuster.
That's right.
Why does she say that?
Because she doesn't work there.
But it'll be fine.
What she says, which is I find objectionable in all these kind of arguments, is that I'm not taking anything away from anybody by saying that, but I disagree. I mean, I like pornography.
Please.
But if
along with the 86%
but if I hang up a picture on my
users.
cubicle, and I have a cubicle here, I could say I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but we all know I would be sued for sexual harassment.
And rightly so.
But you'd have to hand the pornography to someone and say, have a blessed day.
Absolutely not.
You would have. It would be blessed.
All right. I have to take a break. Have a blessed day.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, comedy legend Martin Short, actress Cynthia Garrett, and managing editor of National Review, Jay Nordlinger.